everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is the first video of mine that you are seeing. If you are new here, my name is Julia Kelsey. I'm 25 years old. I live in Orlando, Florida, and I have a budgeting and money management coaching business that I originally started over on Instagram, but have brought over to YouTube as well. And this is where I show and share with others that budgeting and money management can be simple and actually enjoyable, and help others get to the place where they are easily accomplishing their financial goals while still being able to live a life that they enjoy. So today we are doing another budget with me video for the month of June. So in these videos, I just like to go through my plan for the upcoming month, what I expect my income to be, what I expect my expenses to be, and what I'm expecting to put towards any of my financial goals. And as always, I will be sharing my monthly budgeting template in this video, and if you like this spreadsheet and think it might work for you, I do sell them individually on my website for just $10, and that includes the monthly budgeting template I'll show you today, as well as the trackers that I show in my budget recap videos and a bunch of other things. So if you're interested in that, I will leave the link in the description, and this entire spreadsheet is always included in any of my coaching packages as well. So let's get started and see what I have planned for the month of June. So as always, we're going to start with my income, and I've blocked out the different components for privacy, but as a whole, I expect to have $4,400 coming in the month of June, and I did estimate this to be a little bit higher than previous months because this is a longer month, so I do expect to just have a little bit more coming in from side jobs and just things that are paid out weekly. And then next, let's move on to my expenses, starting with my fixed expenses. So these are the ones that stay pretty much the same month to month. They're the same bill that comes out on the same day and is usually the same amount. So I'm going to run through these pretty quickly because they are fairly similar to my previous budget with me. So my first one is my rent, and this is its normal $15.85. This will be going up in a month or two because I did renew my lease and the rent unfortunately did increase, but for now this is just the normal $15.85, and I do live in a luxury building in downtown Orlando, so this is reflective of that. And then the next one is just my monthly car payment, so that's about $303. Next one is my Wi-Fi, that's just basically $35 and the same as normal. And then I have two fitness bills. So the first one is just my gym membership. I just have a basic membership at a Crunch Gym, and that's $10.60. And then I also have an Orange Theory fitness membership. I have the basic membership where you just get 4 classes a month, so that is $69. And then the next one is a couple of business subscriptions. So I have my website renewal here, and then also a Canva subscription. So those come out every month for about $59. And then a few more subscriptions. I have my Amazon Music, that's $5.65. And then Hulu, which is basically like my cable. I don't have any other cable or streaming services, so this encompasses all of that, and it's basically $80. And then iTunes, this is basically for extra storage on my phone for photos and videos and things like that, so that's $2.99. And then the next two, I still do consider fixed bills, but they do fluctuate just a bit based on how much I use. But I do know that they are coming every month. They come out on the same day, and I have a really good estimate of what they will be, so I include them in my fixed expenses. The first one being my utilities, so water, electricity, things of that nature, and I estimate this to be about $175 in June. And then the next one is my insurance. This is mainly my car insurance, and then also $12.50 of this is renter's insurance. So I expect that to be $129 in June. And then moving on to the next section within my expenses are going to be my variable expenses. So this is what you spend day to day, and are the categories that are going to fluctuate a bit more, and also the ones you're going to want to pay the most attention to. So the first one I have is eating out. I do tend to eat out quite a bit just with my busy schedule, and my budget reflects that. So I've been doing for pretty much the entire year $40 a week in my eating out budget. And since this is a month that has 5 weeks, I'm going to do 40 times 5, which is $200 for the entire month. And then similarly for auto, I've been going back and forth with my weekly budget within this category, but I've settled on for June doing $40 a month in this category as well. So again, that would be $200, and this includes mainly gas, but then also tolls, if I happen to have to pay any, would fall under this category. And then the next category is my groceries category. This one I did not increase, even though it is a longer month, so this is definitely one that I will have to stay closely on top of, and there's a chance I might go over, but I wanted to challenge myself to try to stay within this $300. And within this category, this includes my HelloFresh boxes, and then also my every other week grocery trips. So I do get HelloFresh, it just makes it easier to cook for just one person, and I don't tend to get a box every week. I normally do 2 to 3 boxes a month. I'm going to aim to try to only do 2 this month, but we'll see. And then I have my every other week grocery trips for just breakfast items, Diet Cokes, things like that for around the house. So like I said, $300 there. And then my last daily spending category is my miscellaneous category, and this really just encompasses everything that doesn't fall within any of those other categories. So just those little things that pop up throughout the month would fall here, and I normally do $50 a month, and that is what I'm doing again in June. And then I do have one other line item here, which is my checking account cushion. This is the money that I have sitting in my checking account as a buffer, just in case bills come out higher than expected or I have an unexpected expense that I need to have money readily available for. And I do already have a pretty good buffer going, so I don't normally budget to put anything towards this at this point. But if I do have a dollar or two left over at the end of the month, I will usually put it here. So in total, for both my variable and my fixed expenses, I expect to spend about $3,203 in June. And then moving on to my sinking funds section. So as a reminder, sinking funds are like mini savings accounts where you're setting aside money every month for a particular larger expense or purchase or an unexpected expense that might come up sometime in the future. You just might not know exactly when it's happening or exactly how much it's going to cost when it comes up. And similarly to May, I am prioritizing my sinking funds a little bit more than I have been earlier in the year, just because there's some things that I want to replenish after spending a little bit of money, and then also some things that I am wanting to prepare for in the future. So sinking funds are definitely a higher priority this month than they have been earlier in the year. So my first one is my clothes/beauty category, and this is one of the ones that I am starting to prioritize that I hadn't been. And this is pretty straightforward. It's just for clothes, skincare, makeup, hair care, anything like that would fall under this category. And I had been towards the beginning of the year just doing like $15 or whatever I was able to after funding all my other sinking funds. But in the past month, I went to one of my cousin's weddings and I definitely spent a lot within this category. I bought a couple of dresses, I bought some makeup, and just did a lot of spending in this category. So now I want to make sure I'm replenishing that amount and getting it back up to first positive, and then just getting a nice little buffer going again. So in June, I'm expecting to put $100 into this sinking fund, and then I also returned a couple of the dresses that I didn't end up wearing, so I'll have that money to put into this fund as well. And then my next category is my fun category. This is like for entertainment type purchases and things of that nature, and this one definitely hasn't been a priority at all throughout this year. I just usually do what is left over. So again, in June, I'm just going to do $15 in this category. The next one is my holiday/gifts category. This is mainly for Christmas gifts. This is what I will use to buy presents in December, but also for like birthday gifts, Mother's Day, Father's Day, any gifts that pop up throughout the year. And my goal for Christmas is to have $600 by December. So I would do $50 a month for that, which is what I'm doing in June. And then if I happen to use this category to purchase any other gifts throughout the year, I'll make sure to replenish that amount as well, so I can make sure that I have that $600 by the end of the year. And the next one is my household category. This is definitely one of the lower priorities as well. I tend to use this for like decor, blankets, candles, just things like that for miscellaneous things around the house. And I don't expect or have anything that I am wanting to purchase within this category, so I haven't been funding anything throughout the entire year in this category. And again, in June, I'm not putting anything into this category. And then the next one is Nico's category. This is anything that I would need to purchase for Nico, his vet visits, his food, toys, grooming, anything like that. And this obviously is a priority category because I need to make sure I have money set aside for his expenses. So I normally fluctuate between 75 and 85 within his category. So I'm doing 85 again in June. A food purchase for him just came out, and then I do expect him to have a vet visit coming up soon. So I just want to prepare for those. And then the next category is my car maintenance fund, and this is just for routine maintenance or emergency maintenance that I might need on my car. I have recently just spent a little bit in this category. Earlier in the year, I had to renew my tags, which was a little bit, and then I also just recently got an oil change. So I definitely put a dent in the buffer I did have in this account, and I want to make sure I replenish this. Right now, I'm just doing $10, so I'm doing that replenishing very slowly. Once I get some of these other categories back up to positive and back with a little bit of a buffer, I might increase this a little bit to replenish that amount a little bit faster. But as long as it's still positive and I'm slowly making progress, that is good enough for now. So I'm just doing $10 in June. And then similarly for my medical category, this is just for emergencies if I would happen to go to urgent care or need to purchase a prescription or anything like that. I don't have anything specific that I'm saving for in this category. This is just in case. So again, I'm just slowly building this up and doing $10 in June. The next category is my tech category, and I've talked about this quite a bit, but this was a category that I used to use for like if my phone were to break or my computer and I would need to purchase a new one. So that's what this category is for. However, at the end of 2021, I used it to purchase my camera and made it quite negative when I did that. So I used a little bit of my emergency fund to bring it back up to positive. And now if I put anything into this category, I'm replenishing that amount that I took from my emergency fund. So this category is kind of at a halt right now. If I have anything, I'll put it in here and then replenish my emergency fund. But also, as you've seen, I have other things that I'm prioritizing. So right now I'm just not too worried about this and not putting anything in it in June. And then finally, my last two sinking funds are yearly bills, so bills that come out every year instead of every month. However, I do set aside for them every month, so I have the total amount ready to go when that bill comes out and I'm not surprised by a larger amount. So the first one is my Amazon Prime. I just do $10 a month for this. And then the second one is my yearly Crunch renewal for the gym. So I just do $5 a month for that. So in total, I expect to put $285 towards my sinking funds in June. And then the next section is my savings section, and I really just have one item here, and it's almost like another debt item. So this is my student loan fund. And I use this kind of as a savings account where I will put $15, $20, $25 that I have left over in a given month, put it in the savings account, accumulate more money, and then once I have a larger chunk of money, use it to make extra payments towards my student loans. Unfortunately, in June, like I said, I am prioritizing more of my sinking funds, building up the buffer there so I don't have to worry about expenses in those different areas, and therefore not having anything left over to put towards this savings account. However, if I'm able to bring in a little bit more income and do have something left over at the end of the month, this is the first place that it will go. And then finally is my debt section, and this just reflects my minimum student loan payment. So this is its normal $911.45 that I pay every month towards my student loans. And finally, that brings us to the overview section, and this is where I'm able to see if every dollar that I have coming in, I have given a job. We are working with a zero-based budget, so I want every dollar to have a purpose, whether that's an expense, a sinking fund, a savings, going towards debt, whatever it may be. Every dollar is given a purpose, and this is where I'm able to check that that has happened. So I see my green and my zero, so I know that I've accounted for every single dollar, and my budget is set for the month of June. So that is it for my June budget with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And if you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos like this from me. Also, make sure you go follow me over on Instagram so you can see content from me in between YouTube videos. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.